welcome back to my channel. So if you're new here, my name is Chandrali and I am your favorite data engineering mentor. In my channel, you will find different scenarios on system design, SQL, Python, PySpark, and build your new projects. So let's get started with today's. So here's the scenario. Imagine you're working for an insurance company and every policy has a policy reference like these values that you see. So I'll just walk you through what these values mean. So this considered as the policy number. This has some code or the status of the policy. So 01 may mean that it's a new policy, 02 may mean it's a renewal, and like that. So these are codes which defines the policy. And this is the coverage code. Okay, this is another code. So let's not go into the business logic so much. Let's try to understand the data related with the business logic. So now what the business wants is, the business wants to derive the policy number, the coverage, and a code called program code. Okay, so these are the three columns they want us to derive. So policy number logic is everything before the first hyphen. So in this would be the policy number. In this example, this would be the policy number. And coverage is everything after the last hyphen. So this is going to be the coverage. This is going to be the coverage. And the program code they want as hard-coded with DP hyphen. And then if you see, these are incremental values. So 1, 2, 3. And the numbering should be based on the unique combination of policy number and coverage. Okay. Now the catch over here is that since we are not using the in-between term policy code, there can be duplicates, right? For example, if I eliminate this 01, 02, 03, 04, 01, 02, so this combination is same as this combination. So of course there are duplicates, right? But we want to understand the unique combination and assign values as per that. Okay. What is the expected result? For this policy number, coverage, and the policy reference, the program code is supposed to be DP001. Now, if I also consider this and this, it's same as the first record, right? So then this is a duplicate as per our understanding of data, but business wise it is not. Okay, so this is also going to have the code of DP001. Similarly DP002, and then over here we see another same combination, so it's going to be DP001. So this is what the business wants us to do. Okay, now let's quickly go to the data, how the data looks like. So I've already written the queries to retrieve the policy number and coverage and assign the program code based on the combination of the policy number and the coverage. I'm going to explain that to you in a separate notepad. Okay. So first we have to get the policy number from the policy reference. So as per the logic, we know that we have to retrieve everything before the first hyphen. Okay. So if you see over here, this INSTR policy reference hyphen, this actually what it does is it splits the characters of the policy reference column into three parts based on the hyphen. Okay. This syntaxes can be different, but the logic is always the same. So since I'm using a SQL Lite version, this is the syntax that they accept. But normally if you think from a MySQL or Spark SQL or any perspective, you can just do like split off and then the column name, and then you give the delimiter, and then you fetch which exact index you want to build. So in this case we want to have the first one, so first is the 0th index. This should give you your policy number. Okay, and similarly for the coverage, since we want the last index, so we are supposed to be doing basically the third index, that is 0, 1, 2, 2 over here. Okay. Now one more catch is there. You can also use substring. You can use split and then use the index. There are multiple ways to do it. So basically, as per the business requirement, we have to get the policy number, we have to get the coverage, and then we have to assign a value to the column called program code. So in program code, if you see, we are hard coding this TP, and if they want AB, anything like that, they can do AB also, whatever the business wants. So I'm just going to keep it as TP. And then what we are doing is we are adding 3 zeros to specify the length. Okay, so the similar thing can be done with LPAD also, which is present in other SQL applications. MySQL or Spark SQL, Databricks also allows it. So you just basically pad the entire length of the characters with the number of zeros that you want. Okay. And then over here, I am using dense rank. Okay, so dense rank and ordering by. So this basically is the policy number, and this is the coverage. Okay, so you can just consider it as the policy number comma coverage. Okay, and then I'm assigning the value of program code. Okay, now this will give me the expected result. And what is the expected result? The expected result is, so what's the expected result? The expected result is something like this. So based on the policy A, B, C, F, G, H and coverage AB, it should get a program code of TP001. And then if we have a different coverage, it's going to get a program code which is different. And if we have XYZ 1, 2, 3, which is a different policy but the same coverage, it's still going to get a different program code. Okay, so this is a scenario where you can use dense rank. Okay, now I would stop here, but what I want to add is that if I had faced this problem 5 years, 6 years back in real time, I would go for row number. Okay, because that's the first thing which comes to my mind, that why I should be going for row number. But the entire motive of this video is just to show you that you have to understand when to retain the duplicates and when not to retain the duplicates. So if the business use case is that they want to retain the duplicates, and of course in this case they have not even said that they want to retain the duplicates, they just said they want to assign the program code based on the policy number and the coverage combination. So it's very evident we want to retain the duplicates and assign the values to it. So this is the best case scenario where you use dense rank. Now coming to the point where we want to use row number. What can be the situation where we want to use row number? So let's say we have another column which says the transaction date, okay, along with this data that we have. So in this transaction date, which is supposed to be unique, and we want to assign unique numbers only to each transaction. So there cannot be a grouping when a transaction date is involved, right? So in that case, you need to use row number. So your cheat sheet, or if they ask you in interviews that when you want to assign row number, when you want to assign dense rank, just give a very simple scenario. So what I would suggest is prepare a scenario which is relevant to your project and think of all the scenarios where dense rank is used and why row number couldn't be used, and also why row number was used, dense rank couldn't be used, vice versa. Okay, so just a simple glimpse. So if you want to give every row a unique sequence, you should use row number. If you want to rank unique groups, which means the same value will be there for the duplicates, you use dense rank. And if you want to rank with gaps after ties, then you use rank. Okay, so this is a very short video on a very real-time scenario which I faced recently, and this explains when to use dense rank, when to use row number, and I hope this helps. Thank you for watching my video.